Listen and practice.
This story is told over and over again in our family. It's the story of how my great Aunt Dodie was born twice. She was born on Prince Edward Island on January 16th, 1910. She was the fourth of 6 children. It was January and really cold, freezing. The midwife only just managed to get there in time through all the snow. When my great-aunt was born, she was blue, really blue, and she wasn't breathing at all. And the midwife said, "Well, I'm terribly sorry. There's nothing we can do. I'm afraid the child isn't breathing." But my great-grandmother stepped forward and said, "Nonsense! Give me that child." And she grabbed the baby from the midwife and ran downstairs into the warm living room, and then, incredibly, she opened the door of the wood stove and put the baby into the oven. And what do you know? A few minutes later, a great loud cry came from the oven, and my great-aunt had been born, or rather, born again. So, that's how my great-aunt Dodie was born twice. She's still alive, and she never tires of telling the story of her birth to her 5 children, 11 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren.
Listen and practice.
Last year, I graduated from college and I got a job in the same town. One day, for some reason, instead of going to work, which starts at 9 o'clock, I took the bus and went to the university for an 11 o'clock lecture. I was sitting there in the lecture room, and I thought to myself, why don't I know anybody? Then, suddenly I remembered that I'd graduated already and that I was 2 hours late for work.
Listen and practice.
There was a young mother bear who would bring a fish to her baby bear every day. One day, a wise old bear said to the young mother, "If you bring your baby a fish, he won't be hungry for the rest of the day. But if you teach him how to fish, he won't be hungry for the rest of his life." The young mother bear thought about it. She knew what she would do.
Listen and practice.
Dear Dr. Perry, I have a problem, and I hope you can help me. Last month, when I went up into the attic of my house, a big spider fell into my hair. I started to panic. I ran from the attic, down into the house, and out the door. My heart was racing, and I felt sick. Now, I am afraid all the time. In the morning, I look for spiders in my shoes. At night, I can't sleep because a spider may fall in my hair. I avoid going to the attic because of spiders. Also, I feel alone. I feel embarrassed because my family laughs at me. My family says, "Relax. Spiders are small." But I never feel relaxed. I'm always worried. Can you help? I need some advice.
Listen and practice.
Dear Anne, I understand. Don't worry. A lot of people are afraid of spiders. So fearing spiders is normal. Spiders have many long legs, and people don't like that. Also, their webs look dirty. But most spiders are not dangerous, so they cannot hurt you. But for some people, a normal fear becomes a phobia. When you have a phobia, you cannot have a normal life. You can't do normal things. Other people may laugh at you, but they don't understand your fear. Don't be embarrassed. Why do we have phobias? Sometimes they start with a bad experience. Sometimes we learn a fear from our parents. Sometimes there is no reason. You might have arachnophobia, the fear of spiders. When you see a spider, you might have a panic attack. A panic attack is when your heart beats very fast, or you may feel sick. It might also be difficult for you to think. You can get help for arachnophobia. Here is some advice. Read about spiders so you will be less afraid. Look at photos of spiders, both live and dead ones. After some time, you will feel better. Try to relax when you see a spider. Think about something nice. Talk about your fear with family, friends, or a doctor. Good luck to you, Anne.
Listen and practice.
On January 15th, 2009, U.S. Airways Flight 1549 took off from LaGuardia Airport in New York City. It was going to Charlotte, North Carolina. There were 150 passengers and 5 crew members on board, the pilot, the co-pilot, and 3 flight attendants. The flight seemed like any trip, but very quickly it became an unforgettable adventure. Unfortunately, 3 minutes after takeoff, a flock of birds hit the plane's engines. First, the left engine was on fire and stopped working. Then, the second engine also stopped. Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger, the pilot, had to make a fast decision. He did not have enough time to fly back to LaGuardia. He had to do something. If he did nothing, then everyone on the plane was going to die, including himself. Sullenberger decided to land on the Hudson River. It was very risky, but he had to try. He used his experience as a pilot and as a glider pilot to land the airplane on the Hudson River. As a result, all of the people on board the plane lived. Days later, people called this event the Miracle on the Hudson. They couldn't believe it was possible to land such a big plane on a river. Passengers on the plane were very thankful to Sullenberger. One passenger told reporters, "Captain Sullenberger is the best pilot in the world." Another said, "He is a great leader. He should be the President of the United States." Government officials will study this unforgettable event. They do not want it to happen again. For now, people are just happy to be alive. Everyone agrees it was an adventure they do not want to repeat.
Listen and practice.
There are many kinds of animals. My favorites are monkeys. Monkeys are fun to watch. They climb trees, they jump, they swing. It seems that they never rest. On Saturday, my family visited a special place called the African Safari. It's a park where the animals roam freely, and people stay inside their cars to watch. As we drove slowly, we saw many animals: lions, tigers, giraffes, and elephants. This was the first time I observed them in an open field rather than in cages. When we were about halfway through the safari, a group of monkeys climbed on top of our car. They stayed there, scratching, making noises, and asking for food. Among them, one mother monkey held a baby under her belly. Through the car's roof window, we could see the monkeys clearly, their hair, their hands, and even their red rumps.
Listen and practice.
We were sitting outdoors today. It was a beautiful spring day. Birds were singing. The sky was really blue. We saw our neighbor, Mr. Viner, in his front yard. What was he doing? He was digging out small yellow flowers from his lawn. He worked all day. Mom said, "He must be very tired. He works hard to get rid of these beautiful yellow flowers." Dandelions are weeds. People spend a lot of time trying to get rid of them. They dig them up. They spray chemicals to kill them. Millions of dollars are spent each year getting rid of these pretty yellow flowers. But dandelions just keep growing. They flourish every spring. Mom loves dandelions. She really doesn't understand why people do not like them. They are pretty, they grow easily, and you can even eat the delicious green leaves, she says. My mom says she would rather enjoy them than spend all of her time trying to get rid of them.
Listen and practice.
Long ago in India, a monkey was sitting in a tree looking down over the jungle. A king and his servant stopped under that tree to rest their horses. The monkey sat watching the servant set out the peas for the horses. While the servant wasn't looking, the monkey rushed out of the tree and stole a handful of peas. Then he began climbing back up the tree quickly. But one pea fell from the monkey's hand as he climbed. Without thinking, the monkey opened his hand, trying to catch the pea. Of course, as he did this, all the other peas fell out of his hand and dropped to the ground. The monkey watched sadly as the horses feasted on the peas. He was hungry, but there was nothing he could do. His one chance to get the sweet peas was gone.
Listen and practice.
Alex was very excited today. "Mom, will you help me bake a cake?" asked Alex. "Okay," said Mom. "Get out a bowl." First, Mom put butter, sugar, and eggs in the bowl. Alex mixed and mixed and mixed. The batter looked smooth and shiny. Then, Mom added flour, salt, and baking powder. Alex mixed, mixed, and mixed. The batter looked thick and lumpy. Mom said, "Keep mixing." Alex mixed and mixed and mixed some more. His arm hurt, but the batter was smooth. Alex poured the batter into a cake pan. He then put the cake pan in the oven. Alex waited. The cake smelled sweet and sugary. His mouth watered. Mom pulled the cake out of the oven. The top was golden brown. "The cake is ready to eat, Alex," called his mom. "There." Alex pushed the cake to his mom and said, "Happy birthday, Mom."